This is Dire Maul, Warpwood Quarter as a Protection Paladin. So tank perspective in here. This was kind of an interesting run. Things are a little bit strange. Alright, so let's see who I started with. The party I start with is not going to be the party I finish with. Saw some sort of... Okay, so that's Shaman, Healer, Rogue, Warlock, Hunter. Alright, so very first thing in here is to ignore everything, turn left and talk to Paladin. This silly little imp has to be talked to throughout the dungeon to make sure he stays with you so you can finish the quest he has. Well, not he has, but the quest you have to get his Book of Incantations. I usually like to mark him with one of those icon thingies just so I don't lose track of him. Sometimes I still lose track of him even with that, but apparently I didn't do that this time. Let's see, what level am I? I can see as soon as combat finishes. Working on a bunch of different tank characters, I realized a good thing to do here, like, I want to have tank perspectives for every dungeon, but not necessarily Paladin. That Hunter stepped a little too close to the big dude and got its attention. So yeah, I realized it'd be good to have my characters sort of synchronized in levels so that I could run the same dungeon with all of them and pick whichever perspective ended up being the most interesting. Because for some of these, just because it's the only bit of footage I have for the level I'm showing, I don't know, I get some mediocre runs in there. So I try to get the interesting ones that have something notable that's going on here. You'll be seeing another one of those later today. New character. So anyway, yeah, not too much going on here. Go down this hallway, talk to Paladin a couple of times, make sure he follows along with you. This place has some real interesting navigation. It wasn't too hard to learn, but it's a little complicated until you do. Because there's a lot of places where you gotta double back and, you know which fork in the road to take. I ran it just recently with a somebody who didn't know the route so well, and it was a different experience. Shouldn't I have gone by that imp by now? I guess he's up ahead. Nobody wanted to attack that last whiplasher. There he is. Okay. Standing right in the middle of those dudes. So don't forget him. He's easy to forget because he's very tiny. There we go, I marked him. Okay. So now I can't miss him. Let's see, Shaman Healer. I've been playing my own one of those a lot lately, and it is super fun. It's a real great healing class, as it turns out. I see Riptide on me, I'm hearing shamany noises. That was a chain heal a moment ago. I'll talk about that more when I actually show her. But yeah, Shaman feels extremely good as far as healers go. I understand now why I see so many while I'm leveling. Somewhere in this tangled mess of dead trees is an imp that I'm going to have to find a way to talk to. Or did somebody already talk to him? They must have, because I didn't see him in there. Okay, so somebody took care of it. Was it me? I don't think it was me. I was busy. Well, in any case, we got him. I see his blue marker up there. Uh-oh, Shaman's gotten herself into some trouble. I should be paying attention to that. She should be bringing whatever trouble she got into to me. Okay, so both of us are making a mistake here. Yeah, look at that health bar going down. Somebody's going back to help her, because I'm not turning my camera around and noticing what's happening behind me. Everybody's staying alive. Her mana's taking a bit of a hit. Am I ever going to notice that something's going on behind me? Nope! Never. Just go forward, never look back. Okay, so keep an eye not only on your healer's mana bar, but also their health bar and minimap icon if they're not with you. Okay. Now I notice everybody's kind of behind me. And they catch up. It worked out. Nobody died. Still enough mana to be doing maintenance healing here. Oh, Hunter's pet is now taking threat. Okay, so probably turned on Growl because they were taking care of the thing I was ignoring back there. That makes sense. I think the bat died. So there's this weird thing with Hunter pets. So you can turn on the Growl ability so that they'll just taunt occasionally and kind of act as your tank. It automatically gets turned off when you enter a dungeon now. But if you ever have to dismiss and resummon the pet, it invisibly gets turned back on, even though it looks like it's off. Something that I noticed. And it's kind of annoying when you're trying to play the tank and the pet keeps growling at everything. It's usually not too much of a problem. I usually just let them take threat and probably die from it because they usually can't handle it for very long. But what's really annoying is if I specifically need attention focused on me. Their taunt has about the same cooldown as me, and they use it every time it's up. So I just have to be taunting constantly, try to time it right after the pet's taunt. I can attempt to communicate with the hunter to try to have them turn Growl off. A couple of times I've tried to do that. Nothing has resulted from it. I'll say a thing, I get no response, I get no Growl turned off. It obviously depends on the player, but I haven't had good luck with that so far. I think part of it's just not a single word is usually spoken in dungeons that I'm in, and when it is, it's easily lost in the other messages that are going on in chat. I've started doing a thing where this general tab in my chat log there, I actually made a new tab for stuff like reputation gains and item pickups, just so that I can see the important stuff in the main tab, like party chat when it happens, because it's so infrequent and easy to miss when there's all that other stuff going on. It's helped a bit. Eventually you'll see that setup, but not now. Alright, so talk to him again. He goes this way. Wants to think of himself as our friend. Where'd those come from? They just popped right out of the ground. Was it one of those little pods? Yeah, the Shadow Stalkers I expect. Those are stealthed. Sneaking around over here. But yeah, occasionally throughout here there are these little plant pods in the ground, and some of them erupt into enemies, or if you interact with them in a certain way or get too close they erupt. I don't know, I don't understand how they work. But every once in a while that happens. All those little whiplashers will pop out of something. Weird long hallway with nothing going on. I wonder if that's to mask load times or something. Way back, maybe that was a problem long ago. Huh. I wonder. Why else would that be there? Just for spacing? Maybe there was a physical layout reason it had to be. Tanking this archer from range. Just throw a judgment and a shield at him occasionally, and I'll keep threat usually if nobody else is touching him. It'd probably be better to walk these melee dudes over to where he is. There's no reason I couldn't do that. Like that. This room is... Oh, he walks away from me, I see. This room's surprisingly serious. You gotta watch out in here. Not pull too many dudes at once. Because it can get out of hand if you're not careful. It's kind of open on both sides. I'm chaining on extra dudes once the current party's just about down. So I see a Phase Lasher and a Fell Lash here. Is Death Lash in this dungeon, or is that a different one? Because if you see a Death Lash, it's a little more serious than the other dudes. I'm already taking a little bit of a beating here. Not feeling like super durable at this point. I have a very capable shaman healing me though. These things are not dying very quick. Somebody's taking care of Pacillin, that's nice. So Fellash does some kind of arcane explosion or something. This is weird. Because yeah, that's doing party-wide damage. Huh. Okay. Never really noticed that before. Hunter felt the need to tar trap there, even though nothing's moving around. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can do that if you want to. Doesn't really help anything, though. There's a pillar here. I could use that for line of sight if I needed to. Don't think I need to. Did I just hear a power word shield? Is there a priest in the party? No? Something else must sound like that. Alright, so there's like more to this room if you keep going straight. There's a dungeon exit or something? I don't know why it's there. Maybe there was like an alternate way to walk into this back when you had to actually physically walk to the dungeons. Oh right, there's a Shadow Stalker that often gets involved right here. There he is. Right on the way to the imp. Alright, so finally Pacillin is cornered. It has no choice but to fight us. Hunter's ready to get it started, which is fine, because it was time. I feel like I'm not doing the best job of this. Like, I'm not being up front and picking up all the threats. Huh. Guess I was still getting used to this. Oh, he has spell reflection, I see. Okay, so keep that in mind. Alright, so here's the one of the first layout tricks of the dungeon. Turn right around, jump off here, or go down the ramp if you want to go the slow way. Go right back the way you came. Back through that empty hallway. And take the first left. Not all that confusing, but a little bit strange the first time you see it. Just kind of a big period of nothing. Looking around for trouble, just in case there's somebody who's going to get involved here that I need to pay attention to. There was no one. Yeah, you can just kind of go straight down the left side of this room and not run into too much trouble. Herbalists are finding some herbs to pick. That's nice. There are a bunch more of those dudes coming out of the ground. Whiplashers just appearing. Do I have Silencing Avenger's Shield? I do, yes. Okay, so now I can cause spellcasters to come to me by directly targeting them with the Avenger's Shield. They won't be able to cast, and will feel the need to get in close and start punching me. Only works on primary target. It doesn't silence the other two that it bounces to. I think it's a talent you can take that'll make it bounce to an additional target. I didn't take that talent. I saw something else I liked more. Wait, this one really does not want to target me. Okay, so the warlock there was tunneling in on that one, generating more threat than I was. I see. That's why it was so fixated on her. Yeah, I see that dude walking over there. It would have been avoidable. I didn't technically have to kill him. But, you know, sometimes good to pick up the ones that are just a little bit out of range, just in case somebody, you know, walks a little wide and gets too close to them. I like to be safe about those things. Oh, well, I say that. I know something that's coming up a little later in this dungeon. So usually I like to be safe. And I kind of get some first-hand experience of, like, why that's important. Couple of rooms later in here. Alright, Leftendress. Another boss here, part of the quests. Not far out of the way, just go up this little ramp at the end of the hallway before jumping back down, keeping going the way you were going. Pretty easy to pick all this up. She has her own little imp. That little imp's not little anymore, it got huge. No other threats up here. This is totally empty other than her and her imp. Paladin does pretty well against a character like this. If you're going to be casting spells and you're like my only targets, you're almost never going to get a spell off. His Avenger's Shield will happen frequently and silence you, and I also have Rebuke for the ones that don't. Whole lot of dispel noises going on there. Alright, down here. That's the way. That's quite a shield I'm using right now. Huh. Oh right, Shadow Stalkers on this stairway. I forgot about that. Always gotta watch for those. Here we go. Somebody decided to leave the group. Warlock had enough, or had somewhere else to be. Alright, so now we got some kind of orc with mana. What are you? Cloth wearer. Is that another warlock? Is it a mage? Whoa. Okay, I'm just like statuified. Huh. I think I see warlock things happening. Okay, so I think we got another warlock. Yep, sure did. Okay. So it's like nothing changed. Just the goblin grew up. Stayed just as green. Switched genders. But we still have a warlock here. Hydra spawn. Oh, another person left. Okay, this time it was the healer. We can't just keep moving on without one of those. Okay, so we got another shaman. Alright. I don't know what's going on with this. Like, there were a lot of leavers here. Just people decided they didn't want to be here. Okay, so I do fight Hydra spawn now. You can save him for later. There's no particular reason to. He's just, like, right there. We'll be going across that pool to the left, but not yet. Oh, that asphyxiation thing he's applying to me is stacking up. Okay. Well, that's good to know. So yeah, our shaman grew a snout, but is essentially still here. Oh, okay, this is one who's taken the Earth Shield talent. That's a little different, actually, because I didn't have that on me with the other one. Okay, see, like, that little pod bursted open, but did not spawn a bunch of wild lashers or whatever they're called. Huh. So it's like some do, some don't. Looking on the right, I guess Pusillin doesn't count as a boss. Lethendris is the first listed one. It looked like my plan there was just to skip this dude if I didn't get his attention as I walked by. I did get his attention. Am I going to pay attention to the Strixer here? Looking at the Warlock? Eventually. There we go. I took my time about that. Yeah, time for Light of the Protector. My health was getting a bit low. It's fine. I usually don't get concerned until it's under half. But once it's under half, I do get concerned a little bit. Both as healer and as tank, when it's my own health or somebody else's. Half is my threshold. Huh, we have somebody from Illidan and somebody from Stormrage. How about that? I guess Illidan's not the only Stormrage in the story. There's at least one more. Alright, Zevran Thornhoof. Dude who really does almost nothing other than occasionally put a party member on that table to sacrifice them. What am I doing? I wanted to see the map for some reason? Okay. He does his little Shadow Word Pain thing, sure. But not much else. Yeah, a lot of these old bosses just really didn't have a lot of mechanics. Oh no, I'm getting sacrificed. Ah, okay, so new shaman has pulled out an earth elemental. I don't think the earth elemental actually taunts like a pet does, a hunter pet if growl is turned on, but they do generate a lot of threats. And this one is currently out-threating me. Usually when there's an earth elemental around, I just let it take threat. It's only going to last, it's like 30 seconds or something, maybe a little longer. And takes the healing pressure off of, off for the normal main targets. Jumping off right where everybody can see me, just to make sure they know how to follow. I don't know what those things flying in are. Is that a warlock thing? Do we still have a hunter? Yes. It's either hunter or warlock. I'm not sure which one. That's one of those mystery abilities I haven't figured out yet. And haven't played a character who has it. Light of the Protector. Not available to me right now. On cooldown. I'm gonna die here, I think. Yep, there it goes. That's fine, that's normal. The rest of the party should be able to take care of the rest of this encounter, I think. That's my job. I'm the protector. I'm out front. I'm the one who dies first. If the rest of them can handle it, that's totally okay. Oh, I see the flare going down there. That's a good idea. Hunter ability that can reveal stealthed enemies. Only useful in a few situations, and this is one of them. Alright, so this room. A dangerous place. There's a lot to watch out for in here. Let's see how aggressively I do it. There's the Death Lash. Okay, they're in this room. Yeah, so Warpwood Guardians moving back and forth right across the path we want to walk through. I think I'm trying to pick up additional dudes while we're fighting Deathlash. It would have been fine in that situation. I didn't quite manage to do it, though. So I'm ignoring the Warpwood Guardians? Stompers? Okay, so we got that and the group of Whiplashers. That should be fine. Whiplashers aren't too serious. There's a lot of them, though. But they go down quick. A lot of people managing to pull threat off me. Wonder if my gear was a little subpar here compared to what the game expected me to have. Alright, talk to Ironbark the Redeemed. He needs to do a thing at the end here. And I'm just kind of going and not worrying about what's in between, hoping everybody can dodge it. Watching to see if the Deathlash changes targets. Yeah, okay, so things are happening behind me. Hunter found some trouble. So we got all those Whiplashers and the Warpwood Guardians and stuff. Hunter's dead. Warlock got the attention of the Whiplashers. Somebody stepped too close to the Deathlash and got another group of the Warpwood Guardians and stuff. So this is why you don't do that. Don't just try and run through here without killing things, you know. Gotta take care of... if everybody's like perfectly grouped up and knows what's going on, that could work. That time it didn't. We had like 4 groups on us all at once. Alright, so everybody dies. It's fine. I learned what not to do in that room. So now we all gotta run back. At some point the hunter teleported out. Is she gonna rejoin us ever? Warlock's already here. Maybe he like soulstoned himself or something. Killed some things on his own. That's nice. Alright, so let's actually take care of these things before moving on. Don't just hope everybody can dodge them. Alright, now should be pretty much okay. That Deathlash is far enough out. Still gonna keep my eye on it. But the path here is pretty straight and narrow. Nobody needs to get anybody else's attention. Yeah, I don't think this hunter's coming back. She's teleported out and is doing something else. And that's weird. Like, why would you do that? If you don't want to be in the dungeon anymore, just leave. Like, she won't get credit for things happening here if she's not in the dungeon. Just like taking up a spot here. Oh, he brought the he brought a Warpwood Crusher to me. What hit that rogue? He was standing behind the Warpwood Crusher. Nothing else was targeting him. Does the Crusher have a behind attack? Or like a big stomp that hit both of us and I just didn't see it as much because I have more armor or something? I don't know. Almost everybody I see go through here goes left. I go right. They're exactly the same. They lead to the same spot. They have the same set of enemies on them. But everybody else seems to like left better for some reason. So that's a thing that happens. Okay, so Hand of Freedom, handy. That loot window, by the way, opened with no interaction from me. I got close enough to the pod, it opened a loot window and rooted me. So maybe there's just like a bunch of different effects those can have. If you step too close to them, maybe you'll get a bunch of whiplashers, maybe nothing will happen. Maybe they'll root you and open a loot window for some reason. Like, why does that part happen? It's real strange. It grasps its tendrils right into my inventory and puts nothing in there. So it looks like I'm going to clear out the whole room. Healer Shaman had a different idea about which group to attack next. So he gets all the whiplashers, apparently. What a weird run this was. Rogue's decided he wants the Fell Lash and is going after that, which, you know, was my primary target until I noticed something else was going on behind me. Man, yeah, this was a strange run in a lot of ways. Nobody was super coordinated. Hey, the hunter finally left. We can get somebody new for the final boss. Alright, we get a warrior. Neat. If you're running random dungeons just for the big boost of experience you get from completing a random dungeon, this is ideal. Come in right before the last boss. Hammering on my Avenger's Shield button as soon as I'm in range. So yeah, if that's what he's here for, then he gets something pretty good. If he's not and wants to see the whole dungeon and do the quests and stuff, then he gets kind of a raw deal, but, you know, they just queue up for it again. If you're queuing for a specific dungeon, oh good, Earth Elemental. Taking some pressure off of me. Well, not yet, because I still have the most threats, but not anymore. If you're queuing for a specific dungeon, you get warned if you're coming in to a dungeon in progress. So, Protection Paladin's a little short on instant threat generators. I can put down Consecration, which ticks every once in a while, and when I'm standing in it, Hammer of the Righteous hits, I think, every target in front of me. So that's about the best I can do for picking up a situation like that, I think. Warrior gets better tools for that. Death Knight is okay, kinda. Druid's pretty good with Thrash and Swipe. But yeah, Paladin's a little less than ideal for that sort of situation. Alright, yeah, so pick up the Felvine Shard, seal it in the thing I didn't know to do when I was here the first time before. Alright, and that's the end of that kinda strange, a little messy run, where a lot of people left. Somebody wants to do more dungeons. I do one at a time. So I'll leave the rest of you to that. Okay, cool. See you next time, I guess.